Hi friends, welcome back to Nitah Crochets. My name is Anita. Here is a flower bralette that I'm going to be showing you how to make. I made this set for Kennedy Murray. It's one of the pieces from our latest collection. I made it for her when she visited Uganda, and she looked so lovely in this set. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you how to make this bralette. First, you're going to have to watch the flower tutorial before you come back here to watch how to make the bralette and then add the flower onto the bralette. So the link to watch this flower tutorial is going to be in the description box, so watch it before you get back here to work the bralette. Hell broke loose when I was trying to get my phone jacket off of my phone to replace a SIM card, and I broke my nails. Not that I'm replacing them anytime now, so I hope this does not distract you all, but let's dive into what we need for this tutorial and get ourselves started. So we are going to be working with light fingering yarn. Honestly, you can use DK yarn if you want, but I'm going to be working with light fingering yarn because I want something super light. But if you have a heavy bust, you need to work with DK yarn instead. Everything else is going to stay the same. I'm going to share adjustments for larger breast cups if you want to make something large for your own self for good coverage. Then I'm going to be working with a 3.5mm hook. You will need stitch markers and a pair of scissors. Also, you may need a tape measure just in case, but yes, that's all you need. This is light fingering yarn. It's 50 grams, about 300 yards per ball, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so this is what we are going to be using for our project. And now let's get started. So first, what we are going to do is we are going to work our strap, and to do that we are going to yarn over. You hold these two strands together, then yarn over, pull through that loop, yarn over, pull through that loop once again. That's how you make your magic knot. Okay, then we are going to chain 3, actually chain 4, yarn over, insert your hook into this very first chain stitch, and work a double crochet, chain 3, turn your work a double crochet into the 4th chain stitch of the 4 chains that started the project. See that? So this is just our strap. Okay, we are starting with our strap. Chain 3, which counts as a stitch. Turn your work a double crochet into the 3rd chain stitch of the 3 double crochets. Chain 3, turn your work into the 3rd chain stitch of the 3 double crochets that started the previous row. You work a double crochet. So you're just going to keep doing this repeatedly until you have a strap that is long enough for you to go to the back of your neck. Okay, so let me get back after I have that, and then we can start on the body of our bralette. So here I am. I think that this is enough for me, like you can see. So this is enough for me. I just worked a couple of rows. It doesn't have to be so long because it's just going to go to the back of your neck, tie to the back of your neck. So literally you don't have to be struggling to work a long strap. So here you're going to chain 3, which counts as a stitch. Then you get into the 3rd chain stitch of the 3 chains that started the previous row. In there you work 2 double crochets. Okay, so this means that we have 3 stitches on this row. Okay, now to start the next row, we chain 3, which counts as a stitch. Into this very first stitch we are going to work a double crochet, so that means we have 2 double crochets. Into this next stitch we are going to work 2 double crochets as well. See that? Then we work 2 double crochets into the 3rd chain stitch that started the previous row. So that means on this row we have 6 double crochets. Do you see that? Then we are going to chain 3, which also counts as a stitch. Turn your work. Into this very first stitch we are going to work a double crochet. Work 1 double crochet into this next stitch. Then here we are going to work 2 double crochets into this same stitch, and then we work 1 double crochet into the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the next, and then 2 double crochets into the 3rd chain stitch of the 3 chains that started the previous row. So on this row we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. All right, so what we are going to do is we are going to mark the 5th stitch. So this is the 5th, and this is our center. So to work the next stitch, we are going to chain 3, which counts as a stitch. We work 2 double crochets into this very first stitch, and then we are going to work 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Sorry, 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches. So that means we work 1 double crochet into each of them. Oh no, I don't think I marked the right stitch. I'll just go back a little. This should be it. Let me see. 1, 2. Yeah, this should be it. Okay. So yeah, I'm also going to work 1 double crochet into this next stitch. So basically we have worked 3 double crochets into the next 3 stitches. Then now into the marked stitch right here, we are going to work 2 double crochets, and now I am going to shift my stitch marker and put it into the second double crochet of these 2, or the center of these 2 double crochets right here. So this is our next center for the next row. Then here I am going to work 3 double crochets into the next 3 stitches. That means you work 1 double crochet into each one of them. And lastly, when you get to the chain 3 that started the previous row, into the 3rd chain stitch of it, you work 2 double crochets to end your row. So in here you work 2 double crochets. So basically what we are trying to do is we are working an increase into the very first stitch, an increase into the center of our row, and then an increase at the end of our row. So that means you work 2 double crochets right here, 2 double crochets at the center, and 2 double crochets into the very last stitch. So in that way we shall be having our bralette become wide, our breast cup become wide and wide. Now if you're working for a larger size, okay, if you're working for a larger size and you want to adjust it, to adjust the stitch pattern a little bit so that you get more coverage, what you will do is when you get to the center, instead of working 2 double crochets right here at the center, you will work 3 double crochets. Everything else will remain the same. You start with 2 double crochets into this very first stitch, then work 1 double crochet into every stitch until the center, which is the marked stitch. In there, for sizes large, you're going to work 3 double crochets into this stitch. Then when you get your stitch marker, you will move it and mark the 2nd double crochet of the 3 that you worked for the center. Okay, so even on the next row, when you get to the center, you work 3 double crochets instead of 2. Then after that you work 1 double crochet into every stitch until the very last stitch, and into the very last stitch you work 2 double crochets, all in that very same stitch. Guys, I hope this makes sense to you, but yes, that's how you have to do your increments. I'm just working 1 more row with you guys, then I am going to get back to communicate the number of rows I have worked before we start working the lower part of our breast cup. So chain 3 and turn your work. The chain 3 counts as a stitch, so into this very first stitch you work a double crochet. Then now you're going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch for the next 4 stitches. Just like that. And once you have that, now into this marked stitch you're going to work 2 double crochets. If you're working size large, I told you what to do. If you're working size medium, this can stay the same. The only thing you have to change is the yarn you're working with. If you're working size medium, like I said, please work with DK yarn because it's going to be slightly bigger than this, and in that way it's going to give you more coverage because your stitches are going to be bigger, and obviously with that yarn your project should be slightly larger than this. Okay, yeah, so work with DK yarn if your working size is medium, going up to large or extra large. But starting from large, the only thing you have to change is the number of stitches you work at the center for your increment. Then size medium, everything is going to stay the same. The only difference you will have with a size small is the size small may have to work a few number of rows for this increment before they get the coverage they need for their bust or their breast cup. And then size medium, you may have to work a couple of more rows, maybe 2 more rows going through with your increments so that you get more coverage for your boob area. I hope that is clear for you. Now when you get to the center and you have worked your increment, and here you shift your stitch marker and put it into this second double crochet stitch. Then from here you're just going to keep working 4 double crochets into the next 4 stitches. So that means you work 1 double crochet into every stitch for the next 4 stitches. Okay, oh no, I think here you're working for the next 5 stitches, yes, until you have 1 stitch left to end your row. So into this very last stitch right here, which is the chain 3 that started the previous row, you're going to work 2 double crochets all in this very same stitch. So you're just going to have to do this repeatedly so that our work can get wider and wider and wider. And I'm going to get back to communicate the number of rows that you should work. Yeah, that you should work before I show you how to work the bottom of your breast cup. Okay, so here we are, and I have worked a total of 10 rows, starting from this very first row, which was the one that we had 6 double crochets. Counting all the way down gives me 10 rows, and for me the size that I'm working, which is a size small, this is enough width to cover my boob area, because remember I'm also going to have a big flower on top of this, so clearly it's really just going to already give me so much coverage. Now if you're working for size medium, I imagine that you're working with DK yarn, and if this number of rows do not give you the width that you feel is good coverage, you can work 2 extra rows to have a total of 12, and then size large, work until you have the coverage that you need, that covers your bust properly, okay, in the way that you want, so your boob area properly in the way that you want. Once you have achieved your coverage, what you will do now is we chain 3, and this is going to count as a stitch, so we get into the next stitch right here and work a double crochet. Now since we have achieved the width that we want for our bust or boob area, we are just going to be working 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way until the end of our row. Okay, so we are no longer working any increments anymore, and doing this is going to curve the center of your breast cup a little bit to give you the very best illusion that we are looking for, that makes your breast sit exactly where it has to sit. So here we are not making any more increments, we are just going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way until we come to the end of the row. Let me meet you on the next row to explain something small, then let you work the rest of the rows on your own. Okay, so here I am at the end of my row. This is how it looks like, and here you will chain 3, turn your work, do exactly what we have done for the previous row, work 1 double crochet in every stitch until the end of the row, and you're going to do this for the next 3 rows. So far we have one row of just one double crochet in every stitch. So do this for the next 3 rows so that we have a total of 4 rows for just having one double crochet in every stitch all the way until the end of the row. Okay, so this is how our work looks like. You can see after I've worked all the rows that I needed. Okay, now to work my very last row, which is the one that is going to have the little holes where our drawstring is going to pass, yeah, I am going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet stitch, and I'll turn my work into the next stitch. I'm going to work a double crochet. Then you will after you have worked that double crochet, you're going to work another double crochet into the next stitch. Okay, then here you're going to chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch, then work another double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch, and another double crochet in the next. So you're just going to keep chaining 1, skipping 1, just like that, and then you work 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches. So just keep chaining 1, skip 1, work 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, and this is what you're going to do repeatedly all the way until you come to the end of your row right there. Okay, so we are going to follow everything that we have done from start to finish for our second breast cup, so it looks like this. Okay, so once you have both breast cups complete, this is what you're going to do next. So what you will do is you're going to double your yarn and make a slip knot, work several chains long enough to go all the way around your underbust and tie at the back. Okay, so this is my cord and it's complete, and this is what I'm going to get, and I'm going to run it into the holes, front and back, into these holes that we worked for our underbust. I do the very same thing on my second breast cup. You can use your yarn needle for this, or you can just use your hands just like I'm doing. So you just go in and out of those holes just like that. Now next is, if you have watched the tutorial for the flower and you have made your flower, you're just going to get it and place it onto your bralette. Then we hand sew it around. So I'm going to leave the flower link, the tutorial for the flower, in the description box so that you go and watch how to make the flower. Then you get back and just hand sew the flower just like you see me doing. You hand sew the flower onto your bralette. You just keep making sure that as you hand sew the flower all the way around your bralette, you remain within the boundaries of the bralette, because remember the bralette is triangular and the flower is circular. So make sure that while you hand sew your flower onto the bralette, you're still in the boundaries of the breast cup. And then also what I needed to pass on is make sure that you lay your petals on top of each other. Like you're going to see this petal will be on top of this, but make sure it is slightly on top. You don't have to have a big portion on top of the other petal because it's going to carve your flower. So you just get a portion of it, a small portion, and make sure it lays on top of the previous petal. A small portion of the next petal to lay on top of the previous petal so that they're kind of laid onto each other. In that way they fit properly. Just like you can see here, I have laid this petal on top of this. So that's what you do. And while you hand sew, make sure that your fingers at the bottom can feel the boundaries of the bralette so that you keep hand sewing the flower within the boundaries of our breast cup, because the breast cup, like I said, is triangular. So go all the way around until your starting point where you started from. And yes, make sure that each color remains in the color. I used color orange to hand sew, and I made sure that orange stays within the color orange of the flower so that it doesn't even show where we like attached it onto our bralette until someone turns the bralette in out. So yes, after you have gone all the way around and you have worked your flower like this onto your bralette, you will just pass this through to the back, and then yeah, make a knot, secure your ends, cut them off or weave them in, and there you have it. Do the very same thing for your next breast cap right here, so that you have your bralette complete. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.